Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Praise be to God Almighty for His mercy and grace. So today we can gather in second language course class. Secondly, thank you to our beloved lecturer, Miss Endang, and all of you, my friends who attended the class this afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Uminul Mafiro. We'll guide the course of the presentation today. This presentation is part of the second language course assignment, where we will learn and share knowledge about various aspects of second language learning. For the first speaker is Sylvie. For the first speaker, time is yours.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here I would like to explain about. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here I would like to explain about competence and use. Next slide, please. Please. Okay, in second language acquisitions, competence refers to the knowledge a person has about a language, while use refers to how that knowledge is applied in real communications. Linguistic competence includes understanding vocabulary, grammar, pronunciations, and how sentences are formed. However, real life communications also requires pragmatic competence, which means knowing how to use language appropriately in different situations, like understanding when to be formal or informal, or how to interpret someone's intent. This broader communicative competence combines language knowledge with culture and contextual understanding, so speakers can interact effectively within a community. The way people use a second language depends on their goals. For example, someone learning a language for academic purpose or academic competence will need to focus on reading, listening to lectures, and writing essays, often using specialized vocabulary. In contrast, someone who needs the language for everyday conversations will prioritize speaking and listening skills and learn vocabulary relevant to social interactions. The specific skills and types of language knowledge needed will differ based on whether the main goal is academic or interpersonal communications. And competence and use are deeply connected. Using a language in real situations help develop and refine a learner's competence, while having a strong foundation of competence makes it easier to use the language successfully. Teachers and learners must identify which aspects of the language are most important for their needs, whether it's reading scientific text, chatting with friends, or both. By focusing on the relevant vocabulary, grammar, and culture, learners can build the right kind of competence to use the language effectively in the situations that matter most to them. Okay, I think that's all from my explanations.
Thank you for the first speaker. And let's continue to second speaker who has explanation about academic versus interpersonal competence. For the next speaker, time is yours.
Wait, wait, wait. Eh?
Kenapa ya, Cok? Ada suara? Mhm. Cara ngucapnya. Emang nggak bersuara ya.
From the first A. Academic versus interpersonal competence. Well, when we speak our first language, L1, we usually know a lot about how to use it in many different situations. We use it at home, at work, at school, with friends and more. But with the second language, L2, we often learn it for more specific reasons. For the example here, in the USA, someone might learn Spanish to talk with Spanish-speaking clients at work to help people in their community or to read historical documents in Spanish. And other example, in Indonesia, someone might learn English to work in tourism, take part in international business, or study at a university overseas, and much more example. So each of these learners needs different kinds of language skills depending on what they will use the language for. That's why L2 learning is often more focused and doesn't cover as much as L1. And then next, why people learn a second language or L2? When people learn a second language, they usually have one of two main goals. Here are two main reasons. The first is academic purposes. This means they need the language to study, do research, or work in a professional field. These learners should focus on one, learning vocabulary related to their subject or job. Second, these learners these learners want to use the L2 to talk with people in real life. They should focus on one, they should focus on one, learning common vocabulary used in daily life. Second, listening and speaking quickly and clearly. Third, understanding how to ask for help or clarify meaning in conversations. And the last is adapting to formal or informal situations. Reading and writing can be difference between them are academic learners need strong reading and
Jaringannya nggak
that's
bagus.
all from me. Kayaknya wifi-nya No, tidak ada.
Balik. Ada.
Kedengeran nggak guys?
Putus-putus.
Putus-putus.
Iqbal. Sekarang kedengeran?
Kedengeran.
Kedengeran?
Kedengeran.
Next dari yang second explanation ya. Kedengeran dah kan Mbak Nat? Kedengeran. Di sini hujan guys. Wifi-nya hilang-hilangan.
Kedengeran.
Ya Allah. Besar banget.
Lanjut dulu. Next. Yang next. Pakai next material. Next dulu. Kita lagi tak ulang dari awal.
Next kan.
Okay, we continue to third speaker who explain content knowledge. Karisma.
Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. Here I would like to explain about component of language knowledge. Before that, I'm sorry. Here so noisy, so that so noisy here. So maybe my explaining wouldn't clearly enough. Okay, component of language knowledge. Language knowledge refers to the understanding and ability that individuals possess regarding a particular language. It enables people to produce and comprehend meaningful communication. Generally, language knowledge is divided into several key components, each representing a different aspect of language use. These components are phonology, morphology, semantics, and lexicon. First is phonology or sound. Phonology is the study of the sound system of a language. It includes knowledge of phonemes, or we call it the smallest units of sound that can distinguish meaning. Example, P and B in word pat and bat. And then stress and intonation. How emphasis and pitch are used to convey meaning or emotion. Next is sound pattern. How sound can be combined in a particular language. For example, English speakers know that Nick isn't a possible English word because the combination BN isn't allowed at the beginning of the word in English. Next is morphology. Morphology refers to the structure and formation of words. It involves morphemes, the smallest unit of meanings. Example, uh, un, happy, and then ness. And then word formation. How new words are created. I mean, how new words are created using prefixes, suffixes, and root words. For instance, in the word unhappiness, there are three morphemes. Uh, un, negation, then happy or root, and ness or state or condition. Next is syntax. Syntax is the set of rules that govern sentence structure. It involves how words are arranged in a sentence, the correct order of verb, object, how to form different types of sentence, example, question and comments. For example, in English, she's reading a book is a correct sentence, while reading a book isn't is not, except in poetic or stylistic context. Next is semantic. Semantic is the study of meaning in language. It includes understanding word meaning and sentence meaning, recognizing synonym, antonym, and idiomatic expression. For example, knowing that the word bank can mean a financial institution or the side of the river is part of semantic knowledge. And then pragmatics. Pragmatic is the study of how language is used in context. It involves understanding the speaker's intention, recognizing the social rules of language use, and then adjusting language according to the situation and audience. For example, saying, "Could you open the window?" is a polite request, not just a question about ability. And the last one is lexicon. The lexicon is the mental dictionary of a language user. It includes knowledge of vocabulary and word meanings. And then information about how words are pronounced, used, and relate to each other. A rich lexicon allows speakers to choose precise words and express themselves clearly. Each component of language knowledge plays a crucial role in effective communication. Mastery of these elements allow individuals to understand, produce, and interpret language accurately in both spoken and written forms. Understanding this component is essential not only for language learning but also for teaching, linguistic and communication studies. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you for the third speaker. We continue to the fourth speaker who explanation about receptive activities. And for you, Mbak Rini, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the moderators. Okay, I will explain about receptive activities. Receptive activities, which include listening and reading, are essential for acquiring a second language. These activities involve understanding and processing language input rather than producing it. They form the foundation for language learning because learners need to comprehend input before they can produce correct output. For the definition, listening is the process of decoding spoken language from casual conversation to formal lectures. And reading involves interpreting written language from simple text to complex academic articles. Okay, next for the importance, receptive skills are crucial because one, they build vocabulary and grammar knowledge. Two, they expose learners to authentic use of the language in various contexts. And three, they develop learners' ability to understand different accents, writing styles, and cultural nuances. Okay, next, effective development. For the first, learners must practice recognizing words, structures, and context quickly. For the second, input should be authentic, comprehensible, and contextualized. For example, through, through, through real-life conversations, articles, videos, and visual aids. And for the third, repeated exposure to language enhance memory and automat and automaticity. For the next challenge and strategies. Difficulties include unfamiliar vocabulary, fast speech, and complex sentence structure. For the strategies, 1. Various pre-learned keywords and grammar patterns. 2. Use visual supports, pictures or subtitles. And 3. Replay audio or reread text for deeper understanding. And for the last outcome. Mastering receptive activities improves overall language proficiency, enabling learners to 1. Engage confidently in conversation, 2. Understand lectures, media, and academic texts, and 3. Build a strong base for speaking and writing skills. Receptive activities are not just passive tasks. They are active process where learners decode, interpret, and internalize language. Through consistent practice with meaningful input, receptive skills open the door to full second language competence. Okay, maybe that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the first speaker and continue to five fifth speaker. Explanation about productive activities. Mbak Novi, time is yours.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here, I wanna explain about productive activities. There are 4 points in productive activities. The first is input, speaking, and writing. The second is test, require repeat access to vocabulary and grammar. The third is focus on fluency and accuracy in communication. And the last is classroom tasks will promote real-life production. Okay, the first is include speaking and writing. Productive activities in language learning refer to skill where learners progress language themselves speaking and writing. The skill involves expressing one's own thought, opinions, or information as opposed to receptive skills like listening or reading. Second is test require repeat access to vocabulary and grammar. To speak or write effectively, learners need to quickly recall and use vocabulary and grammar. This is known as proceduralized knowledge, the ability to use language structures automatically without consciously thinking about rules, allowing for smoother communication. The third is focus on fluency and accuracy in communication. Focus on fluency and accuracy in communication productive tasks aim to develop two main aspects. The first is fluency. The second is accuracy. Fluency, the main is fluency, the ability to communicate ideas smoothly and continuously without unnecessary pauses. The main accuracy, the correct use of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. A good balance of both is important for clear and effective communication. And the last is classroom tasks to promote real-life production. Tasks in the classroom help encourage learners to use the language in real-life competitive events, such as conversation and presentation. The example of conversation is Role plays group discussion or presentation is speaking to an audience about the topic. Thus, activities help learners become more confident and competent in real-world language use. Okay, I think enough from my explanation today. Let's be safe. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bainun, have you done with your connection?
And right,
Aku langsung conclusion aja kah? Boleh katanya.
Lagi.
and right,
Lagi.
I will answer this last chapter right.
Wait, Mas Tiko.
This conclusion.
Wait, Mas Tiko, wait a minute.
Mas Riko,
Jadi gimana? Bainun lanjutkan.
again.
Conclusion
Again.
successful.
Riko, wait a minute, Riko.
Kenapa?
Wait a minute.
Tunggu dulu Riko, tunggu.
Wait a minute.
Jangan dibaca.
Tunggu, Bainun. Have you done with your connection?
Tunggu. Ya. PPT, PowerPoint.
Okay, maybe you can come back to academic versus interpersonal competence.
Tadi gini aja.
Maybe Bainun can explanation again.
Okay, I'm sorry. I am gonna present again about academic versus interpersonal competence. Well, academic versus interpersonal competence. When we speak our first language, L1, we usually know a lot about how to use it in many different situations. Like we use it at home, at work, at school, with friends, and more. But with a second language, L2, we often learn it for more specific reasons. So our skills are usually limited. For the example here, in the USA, someone might learn Spanish to talk with Spanish speaking clients at work, to help people in their community, or to read historical documents in Spanish. Or another example, maybe in Indonesia, someone might learn English to work in tourism, take part in international business, or study at a university overseas, and many other examples. So each of these learners needs different kinds of language skills depending on what they will use the language for. That's why L2 learning is often more focused and doesn't cover as much as L1. And then priorities for L2 use. When people learn a second language, they usually have one of two main goals. Here are two main reasons. The first is academic purposes. This means they need the language to study, do research, or work in a professional field. These learners should focus on one, learning vocabulary related to their subject or job, reading academic texts quickly and with understanding, Third, listening to lectures and discussions in the L2. And the last is writing essays, reports, or research papers in the L2. And the second reason, these learners want to use the L2 to talk with people in real life. They should focus on one, learning common vocabulary used in daily life. Second, listening and speaking quickly and clearly. Third, understanding how to ask for help or clarify meaning in conversation. And the last is adapting to formal or informal situations. Reading and writing can be useful, but speaking and listening are more important for everyday communication. So the main key difference between them, between academic and interpersonal competence, academic learners need strong reading and writing skills. Meanwhile,
Kok mandi ya?
interpersonal learners
Kemarin
need
simpan lagi ya?
strong speaking and listening skills. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you so much.
Okay, we next to last chapter conclusion. Rico, time is yours.
Okay, and I standing here. The next with the last chapter, right, is the conclusion. Successful L second learning involves turn knowledge into use. Communicative competence in the second language acquisition encompasses not only linguistic knowledge but also the pragmatic. Learner must move from declarative knowing rules to procedural using fluent knowledge. And for the cultural contextual understanding, required to use language appropriately in the various settings. The more than a mastery in the structure requires the ability to approach and convey meaning. Teaching should focus on real communication, not just abstract grammar. Must the teaching as the practice with the student must to focus at the teach for student right. Unless meaningful practice, interaction, and context are key to language development. And practice in the first case for the understand for the interaction what the student in the class right, and I have end to my time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So we move to question and answer. Do you have question, guys, for our group today? Please raise your hand. Anyone? Do you have a question about our topic today? If you have question, please raise your hand and telling your name and your name, of course. Anyone of you guys? Do you have question, guys? for our topic today about SLA. If you have a question, please raise your hand and telling your name. Telling your name. Okay, once more time I ask you, okay? Do you have any question, guys? If you have question, please raise your hand. Telling your name. Hello.
Hai guys,
Guys,
I'm not like
Kiki song ya.
aku bukan
Aku
boneka.
bukan boneka.
I ask you,
I ask
do
you.
you have any question?
Do you have any question?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So,
So
did I
did I close
our
our
presentation
presentation
today?
today?
Should I?
Should I? If you don't have question, I wanna close our presentation today. Okay, nothing yeah. So this is the end of our presentation today. We would like to thank to all of you, to groups who have presentation today, who have prepared and presented their assignment well. That's all from me as a moderator in this group. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Done.
Nunggu apa
Ini
sih?
nunggu apa sih? Enggak kan?
Kan gede
Kan gede nanya udah kan selesai kan?